Welcome, everyone. It is Wow Wednesday again. What is today? August 27th. And we are so excited. This is our favorite day of the week because we get to talk about all the amazing experiences that people have, different ways they're using AO scan technology, giving us ideas. And I can tell you every single week wows us. It is amazing when I hear from people different ways they use the scan technology and different experiences that they're having. And for those of you that maybe you've been using it and you're like, well, I'm not really getting those experiences. Maybe someone shares something that can give you ideas. So we look forward to this call. And remember, we are never making claims. We are not diagnosing anything. This is not a medical device. We don't care about labels. All we care about is information because the information is what empowers us to make different decisions for ourselves and those that we are helping. And we have a really great story from Annie tonight. I cannot wait to hear this. Annie, tell us your news.
Okay, hi everyone. Glad to be here. So I have a neighbor, and he's about 63, and he had had a bath in the evening, and he was coming out of the bathtub, and he fell, and he hurt his ribs. But I didn't know all this. I was meeting him on the sidewalks on the way up, and he was had a sort of limping, and I said, "Well, what's going on with you?" "Oh, Annie, I fell." I said, "Where'd you fall?" "In the bathtub. I was getting out of the tub and I was stuck there and I fell and hit my ribs. I don't know if should I go to the clinic." I says, "Well, when did it happen?" He says, "2 days ago."
Oh,
I says, "Come on in the house and I'll treat you." And he thought I was going to give him a treat, like a treat. I said, "No, no." I says, "I don't have to touch your body or anything like that." He says, "Oh, okay." So he came on the couch and I used my wand, infinite wand, and he lifted up his shirt and I did it for quite a while. We chatted in the meantime, asked him if it was too hot. He said, "No, it feels good actually." So then he went home, and then I saw him the next day and asked him how he was feeling. He says, "Oh, I feel good." I says, "No, I mean about your pain in your ribs." "Oh, that, yeah, no, it's gone. I don't feel anything." So, yeah, yeah, that was my story, and I'm sticking to it.
the things that just light me up. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, he was happy because he didn't want to go to the clinic.
No. And what are they going to do at the clinic anyway? They're going to say,
Now
well,
for
even
the
if it's
ribs,
cracked,
yeah,
we don't even wrap them anymore, which I think is the biggest mistake because they shouldn't just be doing this thing when you're trying to heal them. And it
yes,
just feels a lot better when you wrap them up and let them heal wrapped up.
correct.
But with terahertz, oh my goodness, we can really speed along that healing process and
Mm-hmm,
take away that pain.
mm-hmm.
What an amazing tool, huh?
Yes, he
I
was quite
love it.
impressed.
Yeah. That's amazing. Well, thank you for caring enough about other people to use your tools on them and help them
Yeah.
feel better.
Oh, yes, that I am grateful I have that.
Yeah. Well, do we have any other stories tonight? I know we're
I
kind of
have one. Okay, so this one was wow. I'm so glad I have the scanner. So if you can hear, I'm a little congested. We just came back from vacation, which was supposed to be a vacation, but it started right at the time of the Air Canada strike. Now we flew just before we flew the Friday, but my son and his girlfriend were supposed to fly and join us on the Saturday. Well, Air Canada flew them from New Brunswick, Fredericton to Montreal, and then stranded them there. Said your connecting flight is canceled. So we were like mad trying to find flights. And I found a flight from Montreal to Toronto, and then we found flights from Toronto to Charleston and Charleston to Seattle. And then we had to drive from Vancouver to Seattle to pick them up. But that was the only thing. And in real time, we saw the flight prices go from 500 to 700 to 1,000 to 2,000. Like it was insane. We paid over $7,000 to get them to
Oh,
us.
oh,
That's
yes.
that's a side story. But we got them from Montreal to Toronto, and then they caught the flight from Toronto to Charleston, except it was delayed. So they now missed the connecting flight from Charleston to Seattle. So they had been at the airport probably about 3 a.m. on Saturday morning, and now it is about 8, 9 p.m. on Saturday night. They're exhausted, they're tired, they're scared out of their minds, and there's nothing I can do. Like, they're both scared, but then they're snipping at each other because each handles stress their own way. And I felt so helpless as a mother that I couldn't do anything. I mean, we'd done all we could. We'd spent all this money, to try and get them to us, and it still wasn't enough. So I pulled out my scanner and I started sending the peace, tranquility, calmness. I sent all those loving vibes to them. And within that hour of me sending that, she had gotten hold of a hotel room. And I'm like, okay, now you guys at least have a plan for tonight. And then we'll figure out, we had to buy, even though we'd paid for a ticket to Seattle, we had to buy more tickets again for the next day to Seattle to get them there. But I'm like, at least you're good until then. Just go get some rest. But to be able to have that, to send them those frequencies to keep them calm and level-headed in that time, it just meant so much. So then finally on Sunday evening, by the time we got back to Vancouver, it was 1 a.m. And the next morning we had to catch the ferry to go to Vancouver Island. And now we get, we're paying $600 a night for this gorgeous condo on the ocean. And because of all the stress, his girlfriend was so sick. Like, her immune system just crashed. And I ran her scans and strep kept showing up. Okay. Now that's not something you can take seriously, like lightly, so I'm like, okay, thank God I'm sending her the antibiotics. I'm sending her the antiseptic 1, antiseptic 2, just constantly scanning her and sending all of that. And then the next day, my son started to feel that way. The next day, my daughter started to feel, but none of us needed to go to the clinic. I sent immune support to all of us. And I only got this on the last day because I was like, okay, once I knew they were back home, because even their flight home from Air Canada, even though the strike was over, was a nightmare.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But, just to say that in those moments when you feel so helpless, it's not just the health ones, but not just like the physical health, but the mental health frequencies that you can send. It is absolutely, like, every time I've sent them, I see proof. I see it makes a difference, and in a time where there's so much stress on people all the time, what a gift to have in our hands to be able to ease that mental stress off of people, to get them back to that calmness, to be able to rationalize that, I don't like what's happening, but I can still deal with it. Yeah. I'm just so grateful. This technology just blows me away every single day, in all the different ways. And all I've done since I've gotten back is just inner voice, because I'm like, I don't know, there's some shift happening, because there was beautiful moments in the vacation, but I don't know if it was last week with the dark moon or whatever it was heavy, heavy energy. So I'm just like, I got to clear that real quick. So I'm just running the inner voice. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, there's a lot of heavy energy just with that whole experience. Oh my gosh, how frustrating.
Yeah, it was, like I said, quite the ordeal. But to see the family all come together, I mean, we had 4 different, 2 laptops, 2 phones, everyone's searching what flight can we get these kids on to just get them to us. It was so stressful, but there was beauty in it at the same time because you just saw how everyone came together,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
make things happen and how, parents will shift mountains for their children.
Yep. Yep. Well, and I love that you reminded us about my mind just went blank.
The peace, tranquility, calmness.
Yes, that, but then when with the strep symptoms, 1 and 2,
Oh, yes, the antibiotic
antibiotics.
and antiseptic 1 and 2. Yeah.
I don't know about the rest of you, but are you seeing strep rampant? I am. It is just showing up everywhere. It is summer here. How are people getting sick with strep throat and cold, usually winter type things? And it's the middle of the summer. So this strep is running rampant right now. And the antibiotics don't really do any good. They've proven that your own immune system can clean up strep within 14 days. Well, that's the same time they give you on antibiotics, and antibiotics have no proof of actually helping strep, but they do wipe out your good guys in your gut. So now we've got another problem. So
Yes.
isn't it amazing that we can use frequencies for support? That's amazing. See, and if
And
every
then,
household has this self-empowerment, they can help themselves through this. We help them learn how to do it. And then we have calls like this to remind us of the things we forget about.
yeah. And then the PEMF mat has been great to detox my body because the other thing that showed up really, really high in that area of Canada, the electromagnetic radiation. The
Yeah,
EMF was
yeah.
just off the charts. I mean, I'd heard a friend say that, oh, BC is the, 5G capital of Canada. I don't know if that's true, but
Yes.
in all our readings, the EMF was off the charts. So again, just doing the EMF shield, right? So as soon
Yep.
as I got home, before I could say it, my husband's like, get on the mat.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
okay, I will go and detox. Yes, for sure.
Absolutely. I just can't imagine life without these mats. Oh my goodness. Our infinity mat is like, it is a basic staple every day. And the terahertz. So with the terahertz too, if you have the wands, you can use that on the face if you have any kind of
Oh, I have. Yeah.
symptoms. Use it across the eyes with the eyelids closed. Blow it up the nose, not to where it's going to make you gag or something, but lightly up the nose, in the mouth, down the throat, in your ears. And then I like to also go back behind the ears, the drainage pathways, and then across the lungs if you've got lung stuff going on, and then around the throat for all the throat stuff that's going on. Use that thing 2 or 3 times a day for just a few minutes. You don't have to overdo it. You don't have to say, I don't have time for that. Just a couple minutes. Just get it in there. Do the things in every orifice. It is amazing how it will help that healing journey be much faster. Essential oils, if you have them. Yeah. And don't forget the antibiotic frequencies that we have. But those only work on bacteria. They don't work on virus. But you can do virus DT in your homeoenergetics. Seems like we've got strep in the nosodes too. I need to check and verify that. So, Shalu, thank you. That was
Dr.
a
Sheila,
lot of those nuggets. What's
I
that?
have a question
Mm.
because was looking, I came across, like people are always looking for parasite cleanses, right? And there was one that this lady was talking about, turpentine with castor oil, but this turpentine wasn't the kind you'd go pick up local, like it was right from the pine
Yep.
bark, like the pine trees. And so for one of my QLAs says, well, in the like the pine is there in the essential oils. So would that be similar to?
I can't answer that question only because I'm aware of that protocol, but I've never tested it. It just wasn't something that I took on. I use herbals. Um, but there is a lot of value in the pine. Typically with the pine, we were looking at blood viscosity during the lockdowns and all the stuff that was going on in the bloodstream, and the oil from the pine needle. Of course, you need to make sure that it's clean and not out where it's been sprayed with glyphosate and all the things. But that is the oil that we use during COVID for blood viscosity to help clear the junk out of the blood and keep that blood like it was healthy. But regarding the turpentine, that's a different protocol, and I don't have personal experience with that one.
Yeah, no, I don't either, but I just thought like how much easier it would be because turpentine's one of those things that, people are like, I don't know if I want to put that in my body, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
thought that would be great if we knew if this worked.
Yeah, I don't, but I am familiar with that theory.
Thank you.
hmm And we do have parasite DT in the scanner in homeoenergetics, and yeah, different essential oils. Oregano is really good. Thyme,
So
basil.
when we, sorry,
Go ahead.
so when we do any type of any detox for any specific thing, would that make that person ill?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Annie?
If someone was if I was scanning for someone for a detox of any sort, whatever it could be, would that make that person ill?
You mean
Would it
running the
make them,
frequencies?
would it make them sick because I'm detoxing them?
So that's going to vary. If they're very energetically sensitive, they
Yeah.
might feel it. But I have not heard personally of any stories of someone getting sick from sending frequencies. Dr. Darrell, how about you?
No, not getting sick. I hear people say that they can feel things happening and feel things moving. My daughter's one of those people. She can feel it. Like and my mother and my daughter, they know if I say that I'm about to do something, I don't do it. But I've never heard of any. I mean, I've heard of people saying this, but it's not my experience
Yeah.
that anybody has gotten ill while I was running frequencies on them.
Yeah.
And because what you're doing is you're balancing the system out. So if anything, if they feel anything, usually it's going to be relief. It's not drudging
Would
up
it would be
things.
a positive.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So then I
Right.
should only do one detox at a time.
Well, that's what's recommended. I'm kind of like a freight train. I like to do a lot of things at once, but that's not always recommended. So know the person and
Yeah.
know the situation.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm with Dr. Sheila on that. I hear people saying all the time, "Don't do more than one." That's not my truth either. That's
Yeah.
not that is not my truth. I
But
get
if this person is emotionally unstable and I'm sort of like walking on eggshells to treat them, not treat them, but run the scans on them for detox because they do have a lot of issues that I haven't done any for that reason until I got,
Well,
the
make
answer.
sure you're using a lot of support,
Yeah, immune support and such.
even emotional support.
Yeah,
Oh
can I
yeah,
make a
the
suggestion on
ultimate.
that one?
Sure you can.
When you are running, when I'm dealing with somebody like that,
Yes.
I do one of two things. I either put Ultimate Emotions in the playlist that I'm running on them,
Yeah.
or I go over to Multiscan, and I even if it's just them, because Multiscan is what allows you to do this. I go over to Multicast, excuse me, not Multiscan. I go over to
Yeah.
Multicast. Even if I'm just doing that one person, I bring that person up, I put their playlist and connect it to them, and then I run the frequency for the emotions that they're experiencing. In that way, when you're sending their frequency, you're also balancing the emotions tied to the frequency that they're sending in that moment, and that might help.
Oh,
I
that's a
love that idea.
good suggestion. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Okay.
that's why I love this call because there's so many ways to do something, and it's so great to hear different people's ways of doing it, and then something's going to resonate with you. It's going to make sense.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love it when people chime in and offer their 2 cents because you can't do it wrong. It's like a million ways to skin a cat. Sharon,
Hey,
how do you
Sheila.
have something?
Yeah, on that, when somebody's having a Hertz reaction, is there anything that you're going to offset that with? I mean, that's basically what she's talking about, isn't it? If somebody's having a reaction.
Well, she's asking if it's possible. I'm not certain that someone can have a Hertz reaction from
Mhm.
frequencies. I could be wrong, but I've not experienced it.
Mhm.
And I haven't heard personally of it.
Okay, okay.
Now, I have
Like I
heard of
was
people,
thinking of maybe they would get sick.
yeah, yeah,
If
I
And
I'm
that's
believe
usually as a
so.
Hertz reaction, correct?
So if someone is detoxing faster or not able to detox fast enough, if they've got a system that's bogged down and it's not moving fast enough, that's what causes these symptoms of hertzing. And we just need to slow down their process. But I don't know if it works the same with frequency as it does when you're using like physical
Homeopathy.
supports.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, I have a question on turpentine. I just had somebody ask me about that. And I was totally oblivious to that. I had not heard of it before. Now I have the pine needle, the pine and the oil, but not on the turpentine.
And what's your question?
Is that safe to ingest it?
Oh, the protocol that I heard of, they say it is. Like I said, I didn't go down that road, so I don't have personal experience with it.
Mhm.
Dr. Darrell, are you familiar with the protocol that people use
No.
with the turpentine and parasite cleanse?
No, I don't. That's not one that I use.
I just didn't feel resonant with that one.
Yeah. I think that I tend to lean the same way.
See, that's the important part. That's
Yeah.
what's when you're feeling something, and I think that's where hertzing comes in as well. People hear about hertzing so often, and then hertzing has gotten put in the same area as frequency. I've just like Dr. Sheila said, I've never experienced this. I've heard people talk about this over and over again, and I've experienced it when you're dealing with substantive things, but I've never experienced it from the standpoint of frequency. And the only time that I even came close to experiencing it was with a couple of people who had heard so much about it that they were kind of looking for it. You
Yeah.
They
know,
open themselves
and
up
the
to it.
body will give you what it is that you're seeking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lauren has promised us that we cannot cause harm with the scanner, and I believe him.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. You can't do it wrong. You can't hurt anybody. It's just, it is, what do you call it? Protected so that there isn't a way to hurt someone with it.
Mhm. I think what I think about is like with homeopathy. If you have
Yeah.
everything open, then you do your detox. So we can do the same thing with the frequencies as well.
Yeah. Well, and the frequencies aren't really forcing things. They're just trying to bring things back to homeostasis. They're just trying to bring back to balance. So
Mhm,
it's not like they're
mhm.
trying to force something.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay.
Well, it is time for the Solex Weekly Update, unless anyone has anything to share really quick before we leave. Going once, going twice. I just want to thank you guys for being here. I love seeing your faces, hearing your voices and your stories, and thank you for putting your input in here because it helps all of us. I love you guys so much. And for those that are going to DOD, I cannot wait to see you and hug you soon. But let's go see what Solex has to teach us tonight and have an amazing rest of your week.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.